Shalom. I want to give a sincere shalom to the elect, and I want to give all praise, honor, and glories to my power. Allah Shaja, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops, the great millstone who still teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect and hopeful elect scattered amongst the four corners of the earth. Those of you that will have the traditional so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American look, as well as those of you that are going to come looking like someone from the 17 heathen nations, as the nation of Israel was scattered amongst all people from one end of the world to the other, pursuing the Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. This is more disclosure of the wicked here, yeah? This old red fuckboy. Now, this is more about, more in depth to the Rothschilds, who are the Edomites of that rule this world, pursuant to Job 9 and 24. The Rothschild, this is more intel on their puppet here that they've been using through his literature, Mark Hamilton. Because like I told you, I've read Mark Hamilton's writings for about 2 years of my life. And at the time, I didn't understand why, but now I'm glad the Lord pulled me out away from that crap. And now he's using me now to further expose these damn Edomites, or using me to expose these Edomites. So Lord willing, this will be edifying to those of you that find this video here. I pose this question here. Was the writer Mark Hamilton's father a poker player? This is ChatGPT. Mind you, I do not own ChatGPT. All right. So it says, yes, Mark Hamilton's father was a professional poker player. Before creating the Neotech philosophy, Dr. Frank R. Wallace, born Wallace Ward, earned a living playing poker. He heavily incorporated his experiences from the card table into his early philosophical and strategic theories. Now, the reason why I'm reading about this Mark Hamilton's father is alluding to the point I'm trying to make here in the correlation between the scriptures. All right, Lord willing, I'll be able to do that, and Lord willing, this will be edifying. It says he heavily incorporated his experiences from the card table into his early philosophical and strategic theories, because Mark Hamilton's father was a writer too. All right, his famous poker literature. Wallace's background in poker directly paved the way for his later publishing success. The Breakthrough Book in 1968, he authored Poker, a Guaranteed Income for Life by using the advanced concepts. It became a massive underground and mail order success, selling millions of copies over the decades. The core premise: the book treated poker not as a game of luck or gambling, but as a cold, analytical, and psychological business. It taught players how to ruthlessly capitalize on the mathematical errors and irrationality of their opponents. Just like, and so that same, you see, now notice this here, notice the predatory ways right here about the core premise. It said the book, it treated poker not as a game of luck or gambling, but as a cold, analytical, so cold or calculating, and psychological business. So like psychological warfare. That's why, even in that movie, The Mac, the main character said the greatest killers in the world are white ones, or Edomites, because they're cold, they're analytical, they're calculating, and they use psychological warfare. All right, that's their blessing. It taught players how to ruthlessly capitalize on mathematical errors and irrationality of their opponents. And that could be factored in today of how they're erecting this Tower of Babel, and they're going to get into the point where they want to start microchipping people with RFID chips. They're ruthlessly calculating, and they were analytical and psychological with it in terms of keeping everyone psychologically and physically spread thin, with trying to go about getting resources on a daily basis to provide for themselves and for their family and children. And while they got people spread out, and with entertainment, bread and circus, and on top of the fact that they're poisoning us with everything, and then while they got us spread out on that, they're out here laying down their digital infrastructure all over the world to establish their new world Edomite order. Reading on now. Now listen to this. How poker formed Neotech. The card table was the literal laboratory where Wallace developed his theories on human manipulation and logic. Spotting the mystics, Wallace observed that bad poker players relied on luck, hope, superstition, and emotional hunches. He mapped this behavior onto society, arguing that modern citizens are financially bled dry by politicians and institutions because they rely on mysticism rather than objective reality. So basically, like a cunning hunter, they study their prey. All right. The neo-cheating concept. Wallace and a young Mark Hamilton later co-authored papers on neo-cheating. This was not a guide on how to sneak cards, but an analysis on how unearned advantages and subtle deceptions are used by ruling class to control the economy. And we both know that the Hamiltons are the puppets for the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Reading on, it says, ultimately, his time as a poker player taught him how to view human interactions through a lens of absolute mathematical honesty. So he's preying on him. He later handed these exact concepts down to his son, Mark, who repackaged them into the Neo-Think and God-Man frameworks. Now remember, the God-Man framework, so the 2 Thessalonians, all right, chapter 2, verses 3 and 4 reads, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That's Esau Edom. Now, verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And now you have right here these Mark Hamilton writings of Neo-Think and God-Man. All right, so that was just a quick hit on that. And the reason why I was stating this about the poker player thing is because in this video that I'm doing right here now, I'm going to post a video that was put up about 3 months ago. It's an AI generated video, but it goes in tandem with the elite's new world order. All right, so there's a video of a so-called Jake dude. It's an AI video where he's in a what? He has the Neuralink brain chip in his head, right? And he's claiming he can change his eye color and he can win at what? Gambling. And then they had a picture, a part of that video was of him in the casino. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I gotta go fish that video out where it shows the part of him being in the casino. You know what I mean? So it shows that Mark Hamilton is the puppet for the Rothschilds, and Dr. Frank R. Wallace was too. You know what I mean? So it's all linking up. And then on top of that fact that he was in a casino, they had the Neuralink like vehicles and paraphernalia that they were parading around like in like a what looked like a what do you call those things? A convention, you know, like within the casino, or like a Neuralink technology convention or whatever. So, you know, last year during Nero 47's inauguration, Elon Musk did that Zeke Heil salute, that neo-Nazi salute. You notice the word neo keeps popping up all over the fucking place. It's not by coincidence, all right? These are the puzzle pieces that these elite Edomites leave all over the world, and then they have agents of chaos. They have the grunts of their inner circle of things to go out here and fulfill and help carry out those parts and those moving pieces and help bring them to life, and, you know, bring and establish this new world order to life. Because, you know, China, they have the Neo brain chip. You know, you have the Neo data cloud, which is going to gather all the data extracted that is pulled in from those data centers, both the large warehouse size ones as well as the in-home data centers that are in smart appliances, as well as those that they are giving incentives to homeowners to voluntarily, quote, air quotes, put into their home. But they are already everywhere, dude. Esau Edom is not there's no uprightness in him. He's not going to tell people his intentions because he knows that people would disagree. So he'll just go ahead. So instead of not doing it, he'll just go ahead and fucking do it, bro. Because he's Esau Edom. You know, he's the God man. You see that, dude? So Lord willing, this was edifying, inspiring, and enlightening to those of you that find this video here. The name of my channel is the MOTB is here too, and Disclosure of the Wicked. The 4 Elder Connecticut Bishops YouTube channels are as follows. There's more than 4 of them, but I know of 4 channels. You have Jacob Barak 2, Jacob Barak, followed by the number 2. You have you have Disappoint the Wicked. He's going to have a picture of Jack Johnson, a so-called Negro boxer, on his page. You have GMS at the Job 2. And last but certainly not least, you got Fire Cures Leprosy. Lord willing, I'll be able to come back and do some more. I got some more digging that I want to do on this, another part of Mark Hamilton's writings that further exposes them in terms of, in his writings, what is known as the Papa Boys, you know? So basically like the inheritors of the Edomites. You know what I'm saying? And Lord willing, I'll be able to filter that through the scriptures, and it'll be edifying. So Lord willing, I'll be able to do this again. But for now, I'm going to say Shalom.